Oh, okay. I'll still stand here.
Sorry, the roll call?
Chris Vanelli,
Here.
Kathy Doyle.
Here.
Tim Arnold.
Here.
Also present, Chief Fico, Engineer Mike Schwartz, Brian Harmon with Gilmore and Associates, Solicitor Link Treadwell, Administrative Assistant Vicky Schuler, and Township Manager Leslie Hume.
Thanks, Leslie. I don't have any announcements. You guys have any announcements?
Nope.
All right. Public hearings. First up, Comcast Cable Franchise Agreement Renewal for Richland Township. Public hearing and possible adoption of ordinance number 312. We'll need a motion to, is anyone here for them?
No, nobody's here for that.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Okay, I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any public comment regarding this matter?
Let me just give you a brief overview.
Please.
So this is the public hearing on the proposal to adopt ordinance number 312, which is the Comcast Cable Franchise Agreement. If you recall, last month we did one for Verizon. This is the Comcast version. It's the same idea. It's a 10-year term. They pay 5% to the township in order to be able to use the township roads and right-of-ways for their provision of cable service. So if you have any questions, we'll try to answer them. Otherwise, public comment and a vote on the ordinance.
Thanks, Link. I don't have any questions. Tim? I'm sorry, Kathy, I should ask you.
No, everything's in order, so I have no
Okay.
additional comments.
Is there any public comment on the proposal for the Comcast franchise agreement? Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to close this hearing.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We need a motion to approve this.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 312, the Comcast franchise agreement.
I will second that.
All right, Kathy made the motion, Tim seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. Next up, Richland Associates LLC, conditional use application, E17 Car Wash and G3 Warehouse, 1300 at 1300 and 1320 North West End Boulevard. Township parcels 36-006-006 and 36-006-007.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. We need a motion to open.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to open this hearing.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so for the Richland Associates LLC conditional use application, the applicant has requested that we continue the hearing until our February 9th meeting. They had some other things they needed to get ready, and I think they have a zoning hearing board application maybe at the end of this month as well. So we just need a motion to continue the hearing until February 9th.
So before we do that, I do have a question. How does this affect their 60-day extension request?
It doesn't, because
It
we've
doesn't.
opened the hearing and they've requested the continuance, so we're
Okay.
good. We're good.
All right.
Thanks, Link.
All right, I'll make a motion to continue the public hearing to the February 9th, 2026 Board of Supervisors meeting.
I will second that.
All right, Tim made the motion, Kathy seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next up, Development Services LLC, Richland Tracks. Tollgate Road, conditional use application G17, flex building use, tax map parcel numbers 36-13-51, 36-38-31, 36-13-52, and 36-13-53. Need a motion to open the hearing.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
And I will second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Good evening, members of the board, Mr. Treadwell and others. My name is Michael Gill, and I like to go standing around at township meetings.
Yeah.
You do it really well.
Thank you. I'm an attorney with the law firm Hamburg Rubin, and we have the privilege of representing Development Services for conditional use application and other related approvals for a flex building project at the southwest corner of the intersection of Tollgate Road and Route 309, West End Boulevard. Joined this evening by Tim Hendricks, who is a representative of Development Services, Susan Rice from STA Engineering, Andy Heinrich from Heinrich & Klein Associates, Fred Ebert from Ebert Engineering, Sanitary Sewage Consultants, and Scott Henderson, Steve Rowley, and Ben Moore from Outrigger Industrial, the ultimate end operator of the flex buildings. I know that members of the board are familiar with the proposal that Development Services brings before you this evening. I do just want to cover some high-level issues and then specifically focus on issues that I understand may be of particular concern or interest to the board. I know that later on this evening, I'm going to be back up here asking you for conditional preliminary final land development approval. And many of the issues that we're going to talk about during the conditional use hearing obviously will have relevance to the land development submission as well. Before we get to any of that, however, I did pass up to members of the board a packet of exhibits, which I have pre-marked as A1 through A16. And then I've noted on the index of the exhibits that we would ask the board to incorporate by reference the preliminary final land development plan set, which is obviously something the township has, but I didn't think that it made a lot of sense to print out 69 additional pages for the packet. So we would ask those exhibits be marked and entered into the record of the hearing. As I said, this is an application for conditional use approval. This property is located in the PC zoning district. G17 flex buildings are permitted by right in the PC zoning district. The property is also, obviously you know, within the arterial corridor overlay district, and is that overlay district that brings us here tonight for the conditional use hearing. We have a proposal, as you just heard, to consolidate 4 tax parcels into 1 parcel. The total tract area for those parcels is just north of 62 acres. 3 of the parcels, as we sit here tonight, are owned by Faulkner Siaka. I can never pronounce that. One of the parcels is owned outright by Development Services. So I've marked as Exhibit A1 the deeds to the properties, and if the board has any questions about standing, Mr. Hendricks can be sworn and take the board through the structure of the transaction. We'll represent that ultimately when this transaction goes all the way through, an entity known as Development Services, LLC, right now as we stand here, controls and has the right to pursue the conditional use approval and the land development approval for the development. At the end of the day, when the transaction is completed, Outrigger Industrial will own the site and be the ultimate end operator, as I said. Excuse me.
Before you go any further, Mike, can we throw a plan up on the screen, Vicki? Just so we know what we're looking at.
I should remember because I was looking at it earlier.
Yeah, you can put up that, is that the Outrigger
Yeah, it's the
PowerPoint? Yeah. There you go. That's good. Thank you.
So here's an illustrative site plan, obviously not the engineered site plan. As I said, we have a parcel that's in total just north of 62 acres, generally rectangular in shape with a little bit of a panhandle coming up here at the southern end. And Morgan Creek, which will become very relevant in just a moment, Morgan Creek runs through that portion of the site. Other than the Dunkin' Donuts at the corner, the site, as I said, is at the southwest corner of the intersection of 309 and Tollgate. Historically, the site has been partially developed, and this proposal is to develop 2 flex buildings, one of 400,050 square feet, 400,050 square feet, and the other of 156,000 square feet. This is a flex building, not straight out warehouse, so there will be a mix of uses at the site, and the plan includes space for up to 6 offices. 591 off-street parking spaces will be provided, and as depicted here, and as Susan will be able to answer any questions you have about landscaping, significant landscaping and stormwater improvements for the site as well. With regard to sanitary sewer, as the board is surely aware, your current Act 537 plan contemplates that this site would discharge to the Quakertown Area Wastewater Treatment Facility. As the board is also surely aware, that is a legal impossibility at this time due to a connection management plan being in place for that facility, and this site is not listed or not identified on that connection management plan. So, and your zoning ordinance actually expressly allows this, we are proposing an on-site private system. This will not be a large, massive, public wastewater treatment facility. This will be a small, discrete facility that Mr. Ebert will be able to answer any questions you have about that facility. This will be a small, discrete facility that will handle only sanitary sewage effluent from these buildings, from these two flex buildings, and will be located approximately here, adjacent to the 156,000 square foot building, and then discharge directly, clean effluent, obviously, directly into Morgan Creek. Michael?
On the other side.
I'm sorry, I misspoke.
There, yes.
Sorry. All right, so that obviously will require permitting from the Department of Environmental Protection, will be the subject of a municipal oversight agreement, and will be run by a professional sanitary sewer operator. In other words, Outrigger is in the flex building business. They're not in the sanitary sewage operation business. There will be a contract with a professional sanitary sewage operator who will operate that facility on behalf of the owner. And as I said, that will be the subject of an oversight agreement between the property owner and the township.
Is there any possibility that anybody else could connect to that treatment facility?
No.
Thank you.
Staying at
For your planning module, how many gallons per day are you expecting for this?
9750.
Can we pull up the picture so we can see, is now a good time to pull up the picture of what it looks like?
Of the sewer? Sure. Do we have those, Vicki? We do, I think. Yep. Is that it, Mike?
So, sort of, the answer is yes, that's what it is. But why don't we have our witnesses sworn then? If
That's a good idea.
Jump back and forth. So, Andy, Sue, Fred, why don't you guys come up and have seats at the table, and you can all be sworn in together? Now, I have marked as exhibits A6 is Susan's resume, A11 is Andy's resume, and A14 is Fred's resume. And based on their resumes, I would ask them each to be recognized as experts in their respective fields. For Susan, that's civil engineering. For Andy, that's traffic and transportation planning and engineering. And for Fred, that is sanitary sewage engineering and planning.
So recognized.
Thank you.
Would you all raise your right hand, please? Do you swear testimony you're about to give in this trial be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, so we do have up here on the screen, I do not have it marked as an exhibit in our binder, but up here on the screen is an image of a building. And Fred, we were talking about sanitary sewer. Is the image that's depicted on the screen consistent with what our on-site sanitary sewage facility will?
Mr. Ebert, before you answer that, grab that mic. You're going to have to hold it close to your chin, please.
Yes, it is. The control building will be approximately about 28 feet long by 20 feet in depth. It'll have a blower room that'll have the blowers in it, a chemical room, and an operator's office. The chemical room is just soda ash for alkalinity. I did, in the conceptual layout, I did include a generator. Now, if there's a generator for the overall facility and we take power from the overall facility, we could shrink the building. But to be conservative at this point, I included a generator inside that building.
All right, why don't we just hold that thought for a moment, if I can just finish my overview. because I just wanted to finish that introduction with traffic and access. So if we can go back to that slide from the outrigger. Okay, there we go. So we do have access from the site and to the site from both 309 and Tollgate Road. The access on 309 is a right-in, right-out access only, right-in only, right-out only. It's a full-service movement on Tollgate Road, but there will be a mechanism, a hanging bar on the egress from the site to Tollgate Road that will prevent trucks from making the turn and heading westerly onto Tollgate Road. And Andy will be able to testify, answer any questions you have about that. So that is the overview of the proposal. That should be very consistent with everything that's been discussed with the township previously. And with that, I would simply tender the witnesses, and they're available to answer any questions that the board may have about this proposal.
Maybe before we get to questions for the board, Mike, could Andy maybe walk us through what the proposed traffic improvements are,
Certainly.
please?
Andy, you have a binder there in front of you that includes a document marked as Exhibit A12. Please turn to that. And Andy, is that document and the executive summary from the traffic impact study that you prepared for this development?
Yes, it is.
All right. Would you please take us through generally what the roadway improvements are proposed for this development?
Certainly. As Mike indicated, access will be provided via both 309 and Tollgate Road. Both roads will be improved for access. And then the intersection of the two roads, 309 and Tollgate, that intersection with the signal will be upgraded, widened, and the signal upgraded accordingly. Along 309, before I get into the intersection improvements, 309 will be widened for a right turn deceleration lane into the right-in, right-out only driveway. And on Tollgate Road, before I get into the intersection improvements, Tollgate Road will be widened for a separate left turn lane into the driveway and a separate right turn deceleration lane into the driveway. Both driveways will remain unsignalized.
Excuse me. Can you scroll down to where on the PowerPoint presentation where it shows the traffic intersection improvements for the, sorry, Vicki, I don't have a page. There you go. This would assist you in your, what you're saying?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Vicki.
The signalized intersection of Route 309 and Tollgate Road will be widened and upgraded to provide a third through lane, both northbound and southbound on Route 309. And the northbound left turn lane will be widened for a second left turn lane to go west on Tollgate Road and lengthened accordingly to accommodate the queues projected for the intersection. Tollgate Road on the west side of the intersection will be improved. There will be a separate left through and right turn lane, and then a second departure lane will be provided. This is so as to accommodate the dual left turn lanes from northbound 309 to go west on Tollgate Road. The left-hand lane departing from the intersection is the lane that, as it continues west, becomes the left turn lane into the site access driveway. With all that, the signal needs to be upgraded accordingly for dual left turn lanes, need different timing patterns and phasing from a single left turn lane. And to accommodate all that, the signal plan has been upgraded accordingly to accommodate both the widenings shown on the plan there and to remain interconnected with the signal system as part of the Quakertown traffic signal system for Route 309.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I had a couple questions. I'll get the easy one first. It's rather pedantic. In the beginning, I thought you said 591 spaces, parking spaces, but when I do the math on the drawings, it says 370, it's 371.
Susan, you have the actual number? I took it from the plan.
So there is a parking and signage plan that's included in the plan set and currently shows a requirement of 591 spaces and proposed 591 spaces.
And that's, Susan's referring to Exhibit A7, which is a two-sheet excerpt from the overall plan set.
Yeah, right.
And if you take a look at sheet 2 of that exhibit, that has the parking calculation on it.
I see it, okay. I'm sorry, I was just going off the subtitles on in front of the two warehouses on the initial rendering, I guess you should say, it's not drawing.
Oh, that was incorrect. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are wrong numbers, yes.
Okay, then that makes sense.
I think to clarify, at a prior meeting, there was some discussion, though, about whether the applicant needed that many parking
is correct.
spaces, correct?
That
They're
is
shown on
correct.
the plan, but the Board of Supervisors has the discretionary authority to reduce that number if you don't think they need that many and then save some green space, so.
And Susan, you were present at the Planning Commission meeting on December 16th,
I
right?
was.
And was that issue discussed at the Planning Commission?
It was.
All right, and what's the applicant's position on reducing the number of parking spaces provided?
So based on the parking plan, the applicant would like to reduce the number of spaces in car lot D. That is the lot that it runs parallel to Tollgate Road.
Okay.
And on the other side of the berm. That whole area is really unnecessary parking.
Okay, so it'll be somewhere between 371 and 591.
Right, car lot D has 115 spaces in it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
All right, Andy, before we move off of traffic, let me ask you.
Yeah, I have another traffic comment or question once we get to it, so you got it. No, so I have another one, traffic related.
Oh, we may as well stay on that.
Okay. So I kind of discussed this a little bit, but my thought at the time was coming from 309 onto Tollgate Road, but now I'm looking at it the other way, right? So there's another left-hand turn lane from Tollgate Road onto northbound 309, right?
Correct.
Unfortunately, from my perspective, there's not a lot of room between the entrance or the exit and that traffic light. So it's only, I think someone said 300 feet last time, something like that. Anyway, my point is, you have the extra left-hand lane. Can you get enough, and can you get any trucks in it for it to help, as opposed to, you get 3 trucks in it, then it's backed up?
Are you talking about the distance between the site driveway and 309?
Yes,
It's
the
much more
one
than
on
300
Tollgate
feet.
Road and 309.
It's much more than 300 feet.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you can get more than 2 couple trucks that want to go northbound. We can get more in there, because the traffic, my concern is I take that to work, and I see that traffic back up at that light all the way kind of up. So if there's not enough room to get enough trucks, I'm just worried about it being kind of a nightmare, to use a colloquial term, but, you know.
Yeah, it's approximately 900 feet
Okay.
to the driveway.
Okay, that's
from
better.
309.
Thank you. Yes,
So.
correct.
So there's comments coming from someone who's not on the record, so. no.
Yeah, Mike, is that one of your, oh, I'm sorry, sir, who are you?
Resident.
I just need your name, please.
Could-
Do me a favor, though, please. Don't comment until we give the public comment. I appreciate the help, but thank you.
That was my questions. Okay. Kathy?
No,
So I want to go back to the traffic, and I just want to kind of defer to our traffic engineer. Is there anything you want to add to?
I think we just wanted to clarify, what is the length of the left turn lane, so everyone's knows what we're talking about.
Off the top of my head, I'm going to say that the left turn lane into the site access driveway is about 200 feet long, plus the bay taper. And off the top of my head, I don't know what it is for the left turn lane at the intersection with 309. No, this one. Yeah. Probably find it in my report.
Mike, do you have the answer to your own question?
No, not off the.
It wasn't rhetorical.
Okay.
The left turn lane on Toll Gate to turn left to go north on 309 is 250 feet plus a taper.
Maybe that's where I got the number from before. Still seems tight. I think I read in the first paragraph, you expect like 400, it's not trucks necessarily, but 416 vehicles an hour at peak. Which seems like a lot of traffic.
400 is quite a few trips, but the signal timing is set up to accommodate that traffic. And frankly, we'll only be 28 cars in the morning peak hour and 79 in the afternoon. So most of that traffic would be
Well, that's,
currently
I'm
on the
glad to hear
road.
that, yeah, because that's where I'm worried about. Like I said, in the mornings, going all Tollgate Road to 309 backs up quite a bit. Okay, I'm sorry.
Do you have anything to say on that, Brian?
Yeah, thank you, Link. That's what I was gonna.
Just one last thing. That left turn movement is 200 and less vehicles per hour, not 400.
Brian, I'm gonna defer to you on this one. And I see Chris is out there, so he tries that road. I'm not out there that much, heading that way. Is what you're seeing in the drawing, do you feel comfortable with it?
Yeah, so,
Let me ask, for what they have, what they can work with.
Yeah, based on what they've got available to work with and the analysis that they've done and the traffic projections that they've made in the study, PennDOT has agreed, and in the town, we have reviewed and agreed that they're providing what they can, and what they're providing will accommodate the traffic that is proposed to be added by the development. It's not going to solve all of the problems that are at the existing intersection, because that's not necessarily their obligation, but it will mitigate the impact of the development on the intersection.
Okay.
The biggest part here is the additional third lane on northbound and southbound 309, which will allow for some adjustment in the traffic timings.
Does that help you out, Chris?
Yeah.
So typically, wouldn't we see a traffic review letter of you reviewing their traffic review?
Yes, and we have done that.
Okay.
We're good. We've had that multiple times back and forth with the
Do
development.
we have a copy of that, or no?
There's definitely a copy in the township file. I don't know if it's in the documents that are on the screen, but the culmination of that process is that Brian is now and Gilmore are now satisfied, along with PennDOT, with what the applicant is proposing. So there were numerous back and forths over the course of probably 2 years, but they're now at the point where they understand each
So
other.
I guess in here, Brian, you brought up about, there's some issues that we will still have, but they don't have an obligation to fix, right? So what are we talking about? Like, can you clarify?
Sure, so anybody that's been through that intersection knows that, there are significant queues through the intersection on 309 as well as on Tollgate Road today. Their obligation is to identify the impact of their development and make sure they're not making things any worse. They've fulfilled that obligation with the proposed improvements that are coming along with the development. The specifics, I'd have to go back in their report as far as what it's going to look like at the end. I'm sure Andy has that information, hopefully more at his fingertips than I do. But as far as the specifics of what it's going to look like at the end, it's as good or better than what it is today.
And Kathy, I mean, just for the record, the exhibit there's an exhibit of our letter dated October 29th, 2025.
What number?
It is Exhibit 10. At this point, through all the reviews we've done, the remaining traffic comments are whittled down to our sections D, E, and F of that letter. So I think we've probably done
Okay.
five or six reviews of the HOP plans at this point, so. But yeah, our remaining comments are on the record.
All right, excellent, thank you.
Yep.
And I guess my only other question, traffic related, is you guys have done a nice job trying to preventing trucks coming out from making that left-hand turn on the toll gate road and going west. Is there any, this is all conjecture on Chris's part, so this is my opinion, I'll be clear about that. If there were to be any, you don't know how traffic issues evolve over time, right? Is there any way that trucks would kind of try to sneak around the back way, come east on Toll Gate Road from the turnpike or something like that, and provide a lot of truck traffic around the Toll Gate Road area, west of where you're talking?
Coming from Trumbullsville?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And is there any repercussions or anything that we could do as the township or wouldn't concert with Trumbullsville, talk about
So,
preventing that from happening?
coming out of the entrance, the exit on Toll Gate Road, you're doing something to prevent trucks from making.
Can't go left,
You
right.
can't go left. That's what
That's
he's saying.
correct.
He's saying, is there anything that you could do to keep them from coming down Trumbullsville Road that they can't make a right into your development? Discourage them from making a right.
And allow passenger cars to do so? No.
Fair enough.
Okay.
It is a state highway, so we also have to we're limited by what PennDOT would allow on their road.
Yep.
Andy, from a road network perspective, is there any reason to expect that will happen as opposed to truck drivers preferring to use?
Yeah, fair. I agree with you on that. I don't think so, but again, we haven't seen it in practice yet.
Yeah, I use that shortcut myself.
I do too. That's what came
And
from.
it's not conducive to large vehicles.
Yeah, no, that's my
So-
concern, exactly.
Somebody might try it once, but
No,
probably
windy and, yeah.
probably go back to
Okay.
What-
653 and 309 after one try.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I think from my understanding is there will be an effort internally to discourage the drivers that they can deal with from doing so.
And that's exactly what I want to hear. I want to hear it on the record during the hearing that if there is a problem and we see a problem, that we reach out to the owner and say, we're having a problem. You need to talk to your landlord, your tenants, and resolve this problem. I want that on a record.
We'll have somebody from Outrigger be able to answer that question.
Okay. I fought this battle before, and unfortunately, the right questions weren't asked, and we're dealing with some serious tractor trailer issues around here.
Understood.
So, but I would definitely expect something from Outriggers.
Thank you.
Okay, so I see, in Gilmore's report, traffic comments, it's in section D.
You were looking at me just now.
Yeah, I know, I'm just looking to see if there's a number that goes with that, coincides with that. So there's 5 points. Is that something that was addressed, or did you get a response to that? And I'm talking on page 6 of your report.
So we just received a resubmission. We haven't been through to confirm that everything has been satisfactorily addressed.
Okay.
And Kathy, I don't know if Susan can give dates, but we just received the revised HOP submission, and we have, I guess it's got, we do have a submission that came in early December of the land development plans. We haven't completed a review of either of those at this point.
Okay, thank you.
So we do have marked as Exhibit A13, Susan's resubmission letter to PennDOT on the HOP submission, responding to PennDOT's most recent comments. Andy, just to wrap up the traffic discussion, obviously, both of these access points will require an HOP from PennDOT, correct?
Yes.
And based on the resubmission that I just referred to, A13, and the work that's been done to date, is there any reason to expect that that HOP will not be forthcoming?
None that I can think of.
Thank you. And have all of, I'm sorry, before I get to that, based on all of the analysis and review that you've done, and the planning work that you've done, have you formed an opinion as to whether the flex building development that's proposed here is suitable in terms of the effects on highway traffic and safety with adequate access arrangements to protect streets from undue congestion and hazard?
Yes, I believe what is being proposed will do so.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other traffic
Yes,
questions?
yes. Okay, so going back to the traffic comments from Gilmore's, and they haven't had an opportunity to look at it, have the response or their report, have you had an opportunity to look at it, and is there any concerns? And I'm talking about Exhibit 12, and it would be page 6 of their report, traffic comments 1 through 5.
That's actually Exhibit 10.
Exhibit 10, I'm sorry.
Okay, just for clarity, which specific comments, which
So-
sections are you talking about? Section D?
Section D,
Okay,
traffic
those
comment.
are plans comments, so.
Susan, are you able to?
Yes. So all of these comments were addressed with the resubmission on December 1st.
On December 1st?
Mhm.
Okay.
Right. The first comment talks about a sidewalk extending to the southern property line. We're stopping it just short of the wetlands that are in that area. The comment number 2 is talking about the parking space labels that we just talked about earlier, where they were incorrect in on the plan, and so we erased them to make them consistent with what we're actually showing on the plan. The 2 separate crosswalk details on the plans, that's just asking for us to show 2 different kinds of crosswalks. One as the continental crosswalk for the exterior crosswalks, and then just like the regular striping for all of the interior crosswalks. For number 4, evaluate the need for the barrier curb for the clearance bar structure. We previously had the curb shown as a mountable curb. Your engineer suggested that we evaluate barrier curb in that area, and we did revise the plan to show that barrier curb. We've also provided TC elevations for the ADA details. And the car lots A, B, and C and pedestrian connections. Car lot D is a bit isolated, and we acknowledge that, but that's the car lot that we're not looking to build because it's excessive parking. But if that car lot were to be built, those folks would enter the side of the warehouse building, and there would be an access way for that to happen.
Okay. Okay, so, and then I'm also looking on page 7, the item F, traffic signal plan comments. We have revised clearance calculation workbook to reflect the correct grade phase 1, for phase 1. That's,
We've addressed those in the same
okay, and,
resubmission.
all right, and on also 2, right? 2 and
Yes,
3.
all 3 technically, but yes.
Good.
Mike, could we get someone from Outrigger to
Sure, yes,
tell us how it works internally, the truck
absolutely.
discussion?
Before we move on, because I'll likely forget, Andy, have all the answers that you've given this evening to the questions posed to you been given to a reasonable degree of certainty in the field of traffic and transportation engineering and planning?
They have.
Thank you. Scott, come on up. right, Scott, would you
Can
go
we
ahead-
swear him
go
in,
ahead and be sworn in?
please?
I do. Scott Henderson?
And Scott, you are employed by Outrigger Industrial, correct?
Correct.
What is your position with Outrigger?
I'm a Senior Vice President and the Northeast Market Officer.
Okay, and you're authorized to testify here this evening on behalf of Outrigger?
Yes.
And what role do you play in site approvals and obtaining approvals for Outrigger sites?
So I'm charged with all land development phases from sourcing sites, taking it all the way through the entitlement and permitting process, closing on the land, and then all through vertical construction and then leasing.
Okay, so you're competent and able to testify regarding the operation of the site from a traffic perspective?
Generally, yes.
Okay. And you've been here so far this evening for testimony thus far?
Yes.
And you heard some questions from members of the board about the manner in which we can control access from the site out to the surrounding road network, correct?
Correct.
Members of the board, do you have any specific questions for Mr.
Go ahead.
Anderson?
Go ahead, no.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just, like I said, I wanted to put on the record that somebody from Outriggers will acknowledge that if the township, if this project would come to fruition in the township, we're having problems with tractor trailers coming from the Trimblesville area on Tollgate Road, trying to make a right, that the township would reach out to Outrigger and saying, we're having a consistent problem here, and Outrigger would be willing to reach out to their tenant and resolve the problem.
Without exception.
Okay? And once again, not that I don't believe you, but that's why I need her here tonight. So it's giving testimony, so in case it does, like I said, if it does come to fruition, there's a problem, we'll come back.
We will address it, yes.
So Scott, let me ask this question. Do you typically, when you are entering into contracts with prospective tenants, do you typically discuss with them traffic patterns and how they're supposed to get to and leave the site?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I have for Scott.
And Scott, just to drive that point home, there will be a single point of contact or points of contact for the township at Outrigger. So if they need to get a hold of a person with regard to this particular site, we'll be able to provide the township with that name or names, correct?
Correct.
I heard we have your cell phone number, though.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Henderson?
I have none.
Thank you, Scott. All right. Getting back to the site layout and design, we've obviously talked about access. We may come back and talk about sanitary sewer in just a moment, and also about water supply. But Susan, I know that there are some questions or comments regarding landscaping. Do you have a copy of the landscaping plan there?
I do.
All right, and is what you're about to show us, I can put it up on the easel here, what you're about to show us part of the land development plan set?
It is.
Okay, and if you recall, I asked that the entire land development plan set be incorporated into the record. So what we have here is the landscaping plan, which I'm going to ask Susan not to go away.
Yep.
And Susan, would you describe for the board and members of the audience the landscaping, screening, and buffering that Development Services is proposing?
Sure. The site consists of some existing vegetation. Almost about a quarter to a third of the site is located just past development and is largely intact, is existing vegetation and will not be disturbed, is where the floodplain in Morgan Creek crosses the site. There is buffering along, sorry, sure.
Members of the board, everyone else, we've included as Exhibit A4 an aerial photograph of the site. The intersection is up in the upper right-hand corner, so the site pretty much takes up the entire right hand of the page.
Yeah. So the existing area that I was just talking about is to the southern portion of the site. The eastern side of the site is bordered by West End Boulevard, and there is a heavily buffered area along West End Boulevard. The buffer then continues along the property lines that abut the Dunkin' Donuts. And then there's a heavy buffer along Tollgate Road, with an additional bermed area so that there is some height and some buffer for the residences and commercial properties that are across the street at Tollgate. Along the western side of the property is existing vegetation. We are trying to maintain as much of that existing vegetation as possible. So this hatched green area is about 3.5 acres of existing vegetation that will remain along that western property line. The orange area that you see shaded here are some replacement trees that we're providing because of some of the wooded areas within this property are being disturbed. And that would consist of about 5 canopy trees. The majority of the buffer is 115 evergreens, and then there's about 51 shrubs, and that is intended to provide additional buffer along that existing buffer that's to be maintained.
Is there the opportunity, Susan, for additional screening and buffering, landscaping generally off-site?
There is. The off-site property, the property abuts the township open space property. The area that's shaded in yellow on this plan is about 1.4 acres, and that's an existing wooded area in that open space area. This blue dashed line kind of depicts where the township open space area is located. The red hatched area that's shown on the plan is area that could potentially be additional buffer.
And that would be
Proposed plantings, yes.
That would be at the township's option if the township wanted to see additional plantings on property that the township owns.
That's correct.
What type of planting would you?
I would propose something similar to an evergreen buffer, 20 foot on center, maybe 2 rows. It would be somewhere for this amount of area, maybe in the range of 100 trees, 70 to 100 trees.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Susan, we mentioned earlier on the on-site wastewater treatment facility, and why don't you point out, I clearly don't know where it is.
Right.
Why don't you point out where it's going to be on this landscape plan?
Sure. It's at the southeastern corner of the large building, and it's in the grass area that's at the corner.
All right. And from a screening perspective, I know when we talk about screening and buffering, we tend to talk about perimeter. But will the site layout that's proposed here, including the buildings and the landscaping, operate to screen the wastewater facility from external view?
Absolutely. Like we said before, there's plenty of screening along 309 and Tollgate Road. This corner of the property is much lower than Tollgate Road, and we are maintaining all of the existing vegetation behind it to the south.
Very, very briefly, what are we doing from a stormwater management perspective?
Stormwater management is in the areas along Tollgate and along Southwest End Boulevard. And it's a series of various detention basins, MRC basins, forebays, a bunch of things to control water quality, water volume, and peak rate runoff.
And has that been the subject of back and forth with the township engineer?
The township engineer and DEP and the Bucks County Conservation District.
Okay, and this site will require a NIPDES permit from Conservation District, correct?
It will.
Are there any questions for Ms. Rice in the areas of civil engineering, site layout, landscaping, lighting? Okay, thank you very much, Susan. Actually, Susan, if you can just hold on to that microphone. Susan, have you reviewed the area and bulk criteria for the PC zoning district at section 405 G17 of the ordinance?
Yes.
And does this proposed plan comply with the area and bulk criteria for sites within the PC district?
It does.
Have you also reviewed the standards applicable to sites within the arterial corridor overlay district?
Yes.
And does this proposed layout that you've described for us comply with those criteria?
It does.
Have you reviewed the the township engineer's review letter from October of 2025?
Yes.
And that's the one that's marked as Exhibit A10?
Yes.
And you told us earlier that there's been a resubmission. Are there any comments in the engineer's review letter that we will not be able to comply with?
No, except for those that we're asking waivers from.
Okay, and I'm just about to get to that.
Okay.
Now, obviously, we're going to come back later this evening to talk about the land development submission, but there are certain waivers that are being requested with regard to that submission, correct?
Correct.
And we don't need to go through those right now, but members of the board, if you'll turn your attention to what I've marked as Exhibit A8, that's a copy of the waiver request letter. And again, I suspect we'll discuss that in more detail later this evening. Susan, have all of the answers to the questions that have been, all the answers you've given this evening to the questions posed to you been given to a reasonable degree of certainty in the field of civil engineering?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have a follow-up. You made a comment, and then my little light bulb went off in my head. Obviously, the parking lot and the facility has to be well-lit for the safety of the employees and everyone around. So I guess on that drawing, it would be where the green part is, right? The neighborhood's behind that, right?
Correct.
Are the
Correct.
lights kind of designed, because they're going to have to be pretty tall, right?
So the lights meet your ordinance requirements, and your ordinance requirements say that the lighting can't extend over property lines. So there are plans in the land development set that show and demonstrate the lighting and how it is on the property, and it does not extend off.
We're not lighting up the
Right,
neighborhood.
we're not lighting up the neighborhood.
Perfect, thank you.
Right. Yeah.
That was all my questions.
Susan, I neglected to ask you, I'm sorry. In addition to the PC district and the overlay district, have you reviewed the general conditional use criteria in the zoning ordinance?
Yes.
And again, does the layout that you've described to us this evening comply with the general conditional use criteria in the ordinance?
Yes, I believe so.
Thank you. I'm going to assume that your answer has also been given to a reasonable degree of certainty, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. All right, if you want to pass that back over to Fred. I know we talked earlier on about the building in which the wastewater treatment facility will be housed, but are there any other questions that the board has about the operation of the wastewater treatment facility?
No, I think we can address the connection to public sewer as part of the motions for become the preliminary final.
Thank you. Now, I know that there was one other question floating around out there with regard to the water demands and the relationship of the water demand number to the sanitary sewer number. Apparently there is some document in our raft of submissions which calls out 200 to 400 gallons per day of water demand. Fred, are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I think it was someone incorrectly answered a question. The water service coming in is a 2-inch water service, which can supply that. Our average daily water demand is a 9,750, the same as our wastewater. So someone just asked, what can a water service produce? That was the wrong context. So it was taken out of context.
Okay, so our water demands are not 200 to 400 gallons per minute?
No, it's 9,750. All the water that comes in goes out into the treatment plant.
And there's no current proposal for use of water for any industrial purposes, understanding that you don't have tenants yet. But the water and the sewer is basically for bathrooms and sinks. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's all domestic wastewater.
Okay, thank you.
And the type of tenants that they have, that's what they generate.
And I think that sort of goes back to the question about what the usage was for the DEP module And I believe it, your answer to that question was 9,750 gallons per day.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, is this only to serve as a temporary answer until,
You mean sewage, Kathy?
yes?
Yeah, as I mentioned, not to speak, but Kathy, one thing that I did see in the motions is that it's gonna be temporary, because once public sewer is available, township's gonna request that within 60 days that they connect in the public sewer.
I think that the planning module reflected that it was temporary, correct?
Yeah, and that will be a condition of the NPDS permit. We probably need a little bit more time than that, because when public sewer gets available, we'll have to terminate our permit. We'll probably need a pump station, which will require a revised planning module, a water quality management permit. But I think to begin that process, it's there, and DEP will actually require it. So when public sewer becomes available, they will notify us, and they will say that the NPDS permit for the discharge of the treatment plant will not be renewed, and they will place a condition on it and a timeline on it, just so that we can go through and get all the approvals that are necessary.
I think at this point, the board will probably still, I would suggest that we stay within the 60 days of being, of getting it connected. However, when it's time for that, and you had the time frame, the timetable, you come back to the board, and that way, if we need to modify something, we can modify.
Yeah, and we've
Am I
closed.
okay with that- by saying that?
Well, I think we'll change it to that you have to commence the process to connect to sewer within 60 days. Understanding that there are permits and construction that needs to take place.
That'd be fine. I think
Yeah.
commence and diligently pursue.
Yeah.
Would be.
I just don't want to see it hanging out there. You know, public sewer's available, and also like, yeah, we're not in a big rush to get this done. You know, I would want to see, in your definition of expediting and my definition of expediting, two different.
The concern that I would have from a legal perspective is if the township imposes a condition that requires that we discontinue use of the on-site system, and we are not physically connected yet and able to discharge into the public system, there could be a gap there, that the certificate of occupancy or certificates of occupancy that the township would have issued for the buildings will no doubt require working sanitary sewer, and that would put us in a bind at that point in time. So I just want to make sure that we're not creating a gap period.
All I'm saying is that I would, you know, convince me to change my mind, but, you know, we're saying 60 days. I get it. And you're saying you're going to need more time than that. I get it. However, I think we can leave it at 60 days, and when you come back and you're ready to connect, we sit down, we talk about a timetable then, and then you come back to the board and just ask for an extension.
Where would that condition be memorialized? Because if it's a conditional use condition.
No, it's in the land development approval.
That's where we have it. We have it in, that's where it's at. When I have it in part of the conditional use, it's going to be in the preliminary final plan approvals.
I do have grave concerns about not having that process be within the owner's control at that point in time. And the possibility, because it might very well be a differently constituted board at that point in time.
She's going to be around for 6 years. So.
Starting tonight.
And him for 4.
The possibility of not being able to satisfy the township's demands at that point in time and DEP's, and creating a gap period where, again, we would potentially be unable to lawfully discharge sanitary sewage, and obviously that does impact the certificates of occupancy.
Hold on. You might not even have to ask a question. What can we do?
Well, I think we'll have to talk about it and figure out what makes, I completely understand what you're saying. We want them to connect to public sewer as soon as they possibly can when it becomes available, right? But I also understand that it's probably not going to happen within 60 days.
I agree.
It's just not.
Agreed.
So we have to come up with some language that gives us enough room. We could change the condition to say within 60 days or such other time period. Now Mike's going to get into it's a different board and they don't give us any more time. So I think it's going to be, based on what Mr. Ebert said as well, it's also going to be driven rather rapidly by DEP.
That's what I was going to say. The teeth is really in it with DEP. So they would not extend our permit, the NPDS permit. Worst case scenario, the permit just got issued. But what they'll know is they'll know when they issue the construction of the Quakertown wastewater treatment plant. So when they issue that permit, they will put that condition in our NPDS permit because they'll know that timeline and they will establish it. I've gone through this in 3 other places. So the good thing is DEP is coordinating it with the construction of the Quakertown such that they won't renew it. If we have a 5-year permit, they may only extend it for 2 years. It provides on that. So that routinely happens on package plants so that they get phased out. So DEP is looking at this as an interim method and that their goal is to eliminate that as soon as public sewer is available. And they monitor that very closely.
You guys okay with that?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, I think commence within 60 days. Show us that you've started the process within 60 days. And, you know, if we need to make phone calls to DEP and say, make them go faster, we'll make phone calls.
I'm satisfied with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Plus, you also indicated, Mr. Arnold, that you have Scott Henderson's cell number, so.
Mr. Ebert, have all of the answers that you've given to the questions posed to you this evening been given to a reasonable degree of certainty in the field of sanitary sewer engineering?
Yes, they have.
Thank you. Now, members of the board, we were and remain prepared to go question by question, but given Ms. Rice's testimony that the plan as designed complies with the criteria in the zoning ordinance, Mr. Heinrich's testimony that the traffic improvements and confirmation from the township's traffic consultant, the traffic improvements are sufficient to mitigate the traffic impacts from this development, and Mr. Ebert's testimony regarding sanitary sewer. We respectfully request that the board approve the conditional use application within the arterial corridor overlay district, and that later on this evening we move on to the land development submission.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Okay. Okay, with respect to this particular hearing, is there any public comment specific to this project that anyone would like to voice? Come on up, Mr. Dontonville, and please sign in. Oh, there's not a sheet up there? Oh. My apologies.
Unless it's, if you want to, you can.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right, thank you. So I've lived in my house for 26 years.
Can you give me your name again? I don't remember. Sorry.
Bob Dontonville.
Thank you.
So I knew this property was commercial from day one, so I'm not opposed to it being commercialized and whatever you're building. My 3 areas of concern, not necessarily in this order: environmental impact, traffic, because I don't think what is there is going to work, and third, impact. Like this building is going to be my backyard. Like my backyard, I'm going to be looking at this building. So that same problem all around all 4 sides, right? So my questions are around those things. Can we bring up this map up here for a second? Or I have a question that's...
But can we not use this? What is your question?
So my question is, we talked about, we showed the intersection that was going, the left turn, the right turn, and we talked about, I think it was 600 feet or whatever that number is. Can I get that in perspective of here? Because I drive this intersection every single morning, and it backs up already. So now we're going to add 600 more cars, right, coming in this way or coming in this way, one way or the other, and trucks. My concern is it's going to continue to back up. So where is that 3-lane going to start, because right now it starts about 200 feet from the intersection, and if it's not starting way back in the property, that intersection is gonna be horrible. That's one. Two, I noticed that northbound 309 has 2 left turn lanes. I did not see Tollgate being improved to a 2-lane road.
Yes, it was shown.
It is shown up there? Okay. And where does that end, right?
At the driveway.
At the entrance to the,
Just at the driveway, okay. So that will be a left-hand turn
The-
and a straight?
I had testified that the left-hand lane, as you turn from 309 onto Tollgate, will be continuous. It'll be 2 lanes wide all the way to the driveway. But at the driveway, the left-hand lane becomes the left turn lane. So if you're turning off of 309 and you're in that left-hand lane, you have to merge over to the right turn lane, right-hand lane if your intention is to continue
Okay.
further west beyond the site.
The next thing I noticed was southbound 309 from Tollgate, not up north on Tollgate, from Tollgate south is 3 lanes. North is 3 lanes. Where are those going to narrow down into 2 lanes and, going northbound as well as southbound?
We're getting into a lot of detailed dimensions, but there are specific parameters that PennDOT requires based on speed and volume of traffic for which to merge from the 3-lane to a 2-lane section with the appropriate signage and pavement marking to do so. So
And-
those all require.
If I'm out of turn with my questions,
No,
please
no,
just
no.
stop me.
You're good. You're good.
I'm new to this.
Those dimensions are incorporated into the plans that PennDOT is approving.
Okay.
So to answer that question in general, the northbound third through lane ends roughly around Lowe's.
So right after the entrance there.
And southbound, it ends approximately at their driveway.
So basically, you're gonna make that existing right-hand turn lane be the, I guess, a rundown lane on the right side?
Yes, we're converting right turn lanes to shared through right turn lanes.
Understood, okay. Question for the berms and the height and everything like that. I did not hear anything about height being put along this line here. It was existing tree line, which is a bunch of sticks, literally. I mean, the trees are all dead.
Berming on Tollgate Road?
no,
Well, this is
On
on
Tollgate.
Tollgate.
Okay.
This is against the open space that you guys have.
yeah.
I didn't hear, was there a berm being put in, or was it just gonna be ground level, trees, brushes, et cetera?
It's ground level, we're not disturbing the woods, so we're not installing a new berm.
Okay. And you said the yellow and the green was about 3.5
The
acres?
green is on the property, correct,
Is
3.5
on
acres.
your property.
It's on the
Okay.
property. The yellow is on township property,
Okay, and you said there's about 1.5 acres of the yellow and about
Correct.
3.5 of the green.
correct.
Okay. It's variable use property. I'm glad to see that it's variable use now versus 100 warehouse doors, so that's good. But is it gonna be restricted to, no reefer trucks? Is there gonna be refrigeration put in there? Okay. Can anybody, the management company? I mean, you don't know who your tenants are gonna be, but, I mean, is that,
It's not a freezer pool building, that's what you're asking.
Right.
But if somebody needed a tiny little.
understood that, but you're not gonna make the warehouse.
No,
potential warehouse.
this is not a cool storage building.
Okay. Emergency generation, is there gonna be emergency generation, for electric for these buildings? No.
No, we don't anticipate.
Well, there's potentially one for your sewer system, right? Okay.
Okay, hang on one second, before we go any further. Ben, do you want to go ahead and be sworn so that we can get your answer to the question on the record?
Sure.
You swear testimony that you just gave and will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Okay. Now, Ben, a question was asked to you regarding whether or not there will be emergency electrical generators on the site. And your answer was?
Not for the buildings themselves, we don't anticipate
you get his name?
Ben, what's your full name?
You want to spell that? Thank you.
And two last questions. Truck access to the doors, if there's loading docks, I would assume is in between the buildings?
Correct.
Okay. Operating hours, is there any restriction you guys are gonna impose on tenants for operating hours? Like at 3 o'clock in the morning, they're gonna be loading trucks or driving trucks around?
We're not gonna restrict hours, they can operate as they see fit. That being said, generally speaking, our business plan is to at least allow 10 users, which means generally smaller days, which generally points to rents that get, it's more of a, let's get up and go to work and finish at 5.
Okay, I'm just trying to be prepared for some of the, again, my property is 150 feet from your property, right? One last question, actually, what color you paint the building? You're not gonna paint it blue like the one on Ridge Road, right?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, look, we're gonna paint it in conjunction with working with the township. We're gonna paint it an earth tone color and make it blend.
Okay.
That's the goal.
Well, hopefully you guys pick a nice beige. That's it. Thank you for all your time.
All right, any other public comment? All right,
All right, if I can, then I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye.
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 And can I also make a motion to direct the solicitor to prepare the conditional use opinion for the February 9th, 2026 Board of Supervisors meeting?
And is that to come back with a decision approving the conditional use?
Yes. Do you guys agree?
Yes,
I agree.
I'll second that motion.
Okay,
Thank you.
Tim made the motion, Kathy seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Have a seat and
See you in a few
Be back
minutes. All right, thank you so much. All right, I'm going to open it up again to any general public comment for agenda items, not specifically to this particular project. Oh, wait,
You're good.
so
Yep,
you're good
thank
to
you.
go. Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. Thank you. Do we need to transcribe?
Do you want it? You
Yes.
always want it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, we-
yes, please. Yep, please.
We asked for a couple things on the record. Any general public comment? Okay, we'll move on to zoning hearing board applications. First up is Heaven Holdings LLC, 113 Northwest End Boulevard, tax map parcel 36-5-46-001, E19 automotive repair variance requests.
This is pretty simple. This looks like a local business owner on Northwest End Boulevard is looking to put in a pole barn in the back of his property to expand for his business. I think in the past, the board has always taken no action in matters. I think this is exactly one of the reasons why. Let's let the zoning hearing board do what they need to do, unless, Scott, you want to give us a reason otherwise?
No, Mr. Arnold, no, we're fine with have the zoning hearing board handle this one.
Was Mr. Arner correct, Scott, that this is a pole building on an existing business property?
Yes, this is the existing Midas, just in front of Melody Lakes, about 0.85 acres. There's a couple of temporary sheds in the back portion of the property. Some of the items are outside. The owners would just like to put up a more formal pole building to be able to have everything kind of cleaned up and inside a structure. So.
Okay, Kathy, any
Nothing.
comments?
Nope.
So I think the board agrees that we'll take no action on that particular item.
Okay.
But don't go anywhere. Next up is developer matters, and we're back here with Heaven Holdings. I won't go through the proposed non-residential building waiver of land development request, basically.
Yeah, again, to further expand, again, the majority of this, it's a 1,500 square foot pole building. It's going to be an increase of about 500 square feet of impervious. The majority of this is existing paved area and as I mentioned, existing sheds that are currently there. So given the minor nature of the proposal, we're requesting a land development waiver, understanding that we have to come in and get the administrative permits, the zoning permit, and the grading and stormwater management permits.
It looks also, it also looks like
Following
the,
zoning hearing.
it looks like the staff recommends approving the waivers also.
That's correct.
Okay, approving the waiver, I'm sorry.
Yep. All right, any other questions, Kathy?
No, thank
Tim?
you.
No?
All right, do we need a motion?
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the waiver of land development, subject to compliance with Gilmore and Associates sketch plan review, letter dated July 31st, 2025, compliance with obtaining the zoning hearing board variance relief, compliance with obtaining an earth disturbance application permit, compliance with all stormwater zoning and subdivision and land development ordinance requirements, compliance with the regulations of all municipal and governmental agencies, and also compliance with applicants paying applicable preliminary and final plan application fee.
All right, I'll second that.
All right, Kathy made the motion, Tim seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you so
Good
much
to
for
go.
your time.
See ya.
Thank you. All righty, moving along. Back up is Development Services LLC for the preliminary final land development application and waiver requests.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a recommendation?
Please.
Since a lot of this was already covered during the discussion for the conditional use aspect of it, do we need to have the applicant go in full details as he did for the conditional use?
I certainly don't need it. Kathy?
No.
Link?
All right.
You're,
No, I think maybe, Mike, could you just explain what the waiver requests are? And then we'll take it from there.
Actually, I'm going to ask Susan
That's
to
fine.
come back up and take us through the waivers. And Susan, if you would, color this discussion with what happened at the Planning Commission meeting on December 16th.
can I interject 1 second? Mike, the question I had today about the waivers, did you see Susan's letter as Exhibit A8?
Oops.
Yeah, her A8 is the same letter that's referenced in our October review letter. So that is as amended, that letter is what's amended by the Planning Commission.
So if the board would decide to grant the waivers, we can refer to Susan's letter revised
No.
August 25th.
There's a December one, too.
But the Planning Commission removed one of those waiver requests from the December 10th
Yeah.
letter.
The,
And that was number 5.
yeah, the Exhibit A8 does not reflect what was done at the Planning Commission meeting. So,
Susan, let me clarify for the record. So you have a December 8th waiver request letter, correct?
December 10th.
December 10th, sorry. And how many waivers are in there? Requests are there?
8.
8. And the Planning Commission recommended 7 of them.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
And the one that they didn't recommend, you're okay with?
Correct, yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Would you like me to go through them individually or no?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Chris.
No.
Okay.
No, please.
Sorry, old habits.
Okay. No, it's okay. I'm the new guy too, so I'll take any coaching I can get. But no, I didn't think you needed to, so it's good to hear that. Tim had the same opinion.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Maybe I can make this easy?
Yeah.
Do you want to roll with it?
Want me to roll it?
Yeah, do you want me to make a motion to grant the waivers?
Yeah, just read these, right? Just the
Yeah.
sections.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, thank you, Vicky. You put the waiver request up, that's perfect. All right, so unless anybody, do you need to hear anything else from him on this matter?
I do not.
I'm good, thank
Okay,
you.
if that's being said, I'm going to make a motion for the waivers. Motion to grant the waivers requested by STA Engineer Inc. waiver request letter dated June 18th, revised August 25th, and revised again on December 10th, 2025. And that is going to be for section 22516-B, section 2251C, 516 dash, dash 5 dash C, 22-702 dash C2, section 25303 dash 1 dash B, section 25-307 dash 9 dash A, and section 25308 dash 1 dash A dash 2 dash A, and section 22-423 dash 1 and 9A.
Pretty
I
good.
will second that motion.
You know, Kathy, I was going to throw that to you, but I couldn't do it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Tim made the motion, Kathy seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next up.
All right, if I can interject for a second here, before we get to any kind of action on the preliminary final plan, let's talk about the parking spaces. Because the parking spaces is in the zoning ordinance, but it allows the board the discretion to reduce the number of parking spaces. So, Susan, you had 591, I believe, shown on the plan?
Yep.
That was the required number?
Correct.
And you want to reduce that by 115, is that correct?
That is correct.
And that's in Area D?
Carlot D.
Yep.
Okay, so we would need a motion from the board to approve the reduction of the number of spaces by removing car lot D on the plan, which is approximately 115 spaces. No, I'm doing it as a separate, it's in the zoning. The waiver was just Saldo.
Are you, Chris and Kathy, you okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we're gonna make a motion to allow them to reduce
The number of parking spaces
by 115.
by 115.
476.
If that's the math, yeah. But it's removing Area D.
Area D, yeah.
Yeah.
So just make, all right, I'd like to make a motion to,
hold on, Tim.
Are these spaces to be held in reserve and still
Yes.
shown on the record plan?
Yes,
Okay.
just don't have to build them.
Good question. Thank you.
do we need to identify that in a motion?
Yes, that the spaces will continue to be shown on the record plan, but they're not required to be constructed.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the reduction of the number of vehicles in Lot D to what number?
Final number is 476, but she said to reduce it by 115.
Reduction of 115,
Yeah, let's just say that.
as shown on the recorded, but yet still the full number of vehicles shown on the recorded plan.
Spaces, parking spaces will be shown. Yep,
That is correct, and the stormwater management will be designed for that impervious surface as well.
correct.
Okay, I think I got the gist of it. Vicky will kind of go over that again, but that's my motion.
Okay, I'll second it. Tim made the motion, I seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. More to go. We good to move, link to the,
Yeah, you can go to the next, sorry.
okay. Wait, what's wrong with this one?
I have a question before we do that. I'm looking in here and it says compliance with the QPAC memorandum pending review. What does that mean?
No, we already got that. So
Okay.
I think we were waiting for the Quakertown Area Planning Commission. It came in at the last minute.
Got it,
so.
okay.
Excuse me, Link, does the board need to do anything formal on the woodlands disturbance?
That's part of the,
Or is that part of the
it should be in
motion?
there. I believe it's number 8. Is that what you're talking about? I'm sorry. Number,
No, 9 is additional buffer planning. Yeah, we need to do the woodlands as well, but that's in your letter, correct?
It is.
So that would be compliance with your,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm ready. I will make a motion to approve preliminary and final land development. Hold on.
To commence the process, not, you just need to add this sentence in here, that last thing about the sewer that we were talking about.
Do you want to write this?
Oh, I can.
Yeah. I retract what I just said.
All right, I'll make the motion. I'll make a motion to approve preliminary and final land development plans subject to compliance with the following. Compliance with the Gilmore and Associates preliminary plan review letter dated October 29th, 2025. Compliance with the BCPC memorandum dated December 16th, 2025. compliance with the QAPC memorandum, which is received, but I don't have a date on that. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Applicant obtains a highway occupancy permit from PennDOT. Applicant obtains planning module approval from DEP. Compliance with all stormwater zoning and subdivision and land development ordinance requirements. Compliance with regulations of all municipal and governmental agencies having jurisdiction. Compliance with applicant paying applicable final land development fees. Compliance with the applicant providing additional buffer plannings. And then finally, the applicant shall commence the process of connecting to public sewer within 60 days of being notified of public sewer being available for the property.
Can I add one more condition, which would be compliance with any conditions contained in the conditional use decision relative to the project?
Did you get that? So I don't have to try to say that again.
Yeah, we get it off the
Okay,
table.
and I will second that motion.
All right, I made the motion, Kathy seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Thank you.
All right. All righty.
That's the one good thing about recording the meetings, huh?
Yeah, right? Everyone's got their money's worth.
One of many, I guess.
All right, we're going to move on to township business. Approval of the Board of Supervisors meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve the December 8th, 2025 Board of Supervisors meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay, Tim made the motion, Kathy seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Approval of payment of the bills.
I will make a motion to approve payment of the December 2025 bills.
I will second that.
All right, Kathy made the motion, Tim seconded it. Motion, all in favor?
Aye.
You're doing good, Chris.
Hey, Mike, before you go anywhere, we got the planning module.
Actually, that's good timing because that's what's next. Development Services LLC, adoption of the resolution 2026-12 planning module.
Are you okay with February 9th?
Yeah, can we?
Yeah, go ahead.
So in a typical situation, what would happen is an applicant would submit the planning module to the township, board would pass a resolution or adopt a resolution, and then that would go to DEP, and that would generate the review process at DEP. What happened here was the applicant submitted directly to DEP without having the resolution from the board in hand. Not unheard of, but not necessarily typical. What that's done is create a situation where DEP has issued review comments on the planning module submission, and one of their comments is come back to us with an approved resolution from the board. So this creates something of a chicken and egg situation, not an insurmountable one, but something of a chicken and egg situation, because the township may take the position you have to satisfy all of DEP's comments before we will approve the resolution, and one of DEP's comments is come back to us with the township's resolution. So what we were prepared to ask for you to do this evening was to adopt a resolution approving the planning module submission, subject to our compliance with all of the other DEP comments in the DEP review letter. If the board is amenable to that, we certainly will not say no, but I understand that the township may ask us to go through the review letter from DEP, satisfy all the comments, don't submit to DEP until we've satisfied those comments, but then come back to you in February for that resolution. The problem with that is that we won't know if those responses are satisfactory to DEP until we actually submit them to DEP. So that is the modified chicken and egg scenario that we're in right now.
What comments did the DEP have?
Typical cleanup comments, make sure things are consistent, add some more detail, some more information on the plans. Nothing insurmountable, everything that we can manage.
Wasn't the water usage a part of that?
Yeah, I think you need a revised letter of intent from the Water Authority. Correct. Okay. You know what, my opinion, I think we've worked well together so far on this project, but I think we should see in February.
Good. Yep, I agree.
Okay?
Do you want to make a motion to table it then until February 9th?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to table it to February 9th.
I will second it.
Okay, Kathy made the motion, Tim seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So can you guys then get us a response letter or something showing us that here's what we did to address DEP's comments? Thank you.
I also did receive your email today pertaining to, so we'll talk more about that. All right.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next month.
All right, next up is a topic that came up earlier or recently in 2025. It's a discussion around target range options with respect to people target shooting on their property and coming up with some kind of game plan for if and how we want to regulate that.
So at the direction of the board, myself and the staff looked at some regulations that other municipalities have adopted and put it together in a spreadsheet. So you can see the spreadsheets up on the board. Across the top is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different municipalities who have ordinances that regulate in some way target shooting on private property and not at an actual range. Down the left-hand side of the spreadsheet is different ways that it is regulated in those municipalities. For example, the first one is most of the municipalities who regulate target shooting in some way have specifications for a backstop. Some have a distance that it needs to be from a property line. Most have a distance it needs to be from an occupied structure. Some have days and times, in other words, sunrise to sunset, dawn to dusk, 8 a.m. to sunset, that type of thing. Some have, I think 3 of the 8 have a minimum lot size that's required. Most do not deal with the zoning district in any way. Most do not deal with who can take part in using the practice range. Penalties are all pretty much the same. One thing that I noticed when going through this and comparing it is we understand that noise is part of the concern. And I didn't find any municipalities who regulate what the target is composed of. So, for example, if you're shooting at a piece of metal, that is going to make a louder noise than if you're shooting at something softer. So that was just something I threw in at the end that maybe we want to consider. So, as I said, this spreadsheet was prepared so that the board could see what the various different options are as you go through this process of deciding what, if anything, this board wants to do.
So I guess the question that I would have right now, is there any, I mean, this is all consistent. I'm sure there's been legal cases in the state regarding certain municipalities and their ordinances that they put in place and how it may conflict with their constitutional right.
Yeah, it's an area of the law that is constantly changing because, I mean, we all know the Second Amendment issue and you know, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court has weighed in on this and has said that somebody challenged, I think it was the Pocono Township ordinance and the Stroud one. I think they did both. And the Supreme Court came back and said, you can regulate it, but you got to be careful how you do it, pretty much, to sum it up. It was probably a 60-page opinion that I just put into 2 sentences, but.
And Stroud Township, they're looking at it on a spreadsheet, they're really strict.
Yeah.
So the purpose of this is for us to digest it and possibly make recommendations to staff?
Yeah, I mean, we can obviously, there's a lot of things to digest here. I mean, we've heard some concerns in the past about public safety. We've heard some concerns about noise. And just for an example, if you look at, those municipalities that regulate how far you have to be from a structure, I don't know that that helps with the noise issue in any way, because if you're 150 feet or 300 feet, the noise is the noise. And I'm not sure that that helps with safety in any way, because projectiles fly way farther than 150 or 300 feet. So some of these regulations seem to me to be regulations just for the sake of regulating it, although I don't know what the purpose of it is.
So, yeah, so listening to the resident, I mean, it seemed like the main complaint was the noise because it was a problem for her home business. Right now, as a township, we have nothing in place, but there are regulations that govern what backstops should be or shooting.
There are recommendations. For example,
Okay.
most of the, you can find NRA-type regulations for how they recommend you construct a backstop. There's no law or anything anywhere that says this is how you do it and this is not how you do it, but you can find various different guidelines as to how they should be constructed. Another one is there's like a National Trap Shooting Association or something, and they have recommendations for if you're going to do it, this is what you should do.
Yeah.
So I think the position that we're in is we need to look at the how many, 10 of them? 10 different types of backs, on the spreadsheet, backstop specs of all those like distance from property lines, stuff like that. When we started talking about this, the question was, what of these do we think is important to the deal? Should we put acreage in there or should we not? Should we put in a zoning district or not? And I think in order to throw it back to the staff is going to need some sort of direction from us of what we as the board thinks. My first feeling was, and I think Kathy, yours was the same, if I can say so, was the safety aspect of it. We were informed that then it was an individual shooting into the woods.
And there's kids playing.
And there was
and
kids
running,
playing back there. So there was a safety issue.
Right.
And there was also the noise issue too. So one of the things that the link put on the spreadsheet was, as he said, is the duration. Do we put a duration on there? A limitation on consecutive hours. What do we do? Do we say, look, you can only shoot for 2 hours, and then say he shoots for 2 hours, goes inside, comes back out, and he decides to shoot for 2 more. And the other question on some of these, like, how do we know how long they're shooting? So, Rich, I believe you and I talked about that. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying to, if it's a limitation on consecutive hours, how is the police department or the township notified?
Right.
All right, hey, we're starting, they have to call in and say, hey, we're starting it.
No, that would have to be complaint driven, right? You would have to have a complaining neighbor say, I started on my phone, I started taping the shots at noon, and at 4 they were still going.
Right.
And here's 4 hours of continuous audio showing that they shot for 4 hours. I mean, that's the only way you could do it.
Yeah. I mean, I do like some of the stuff that you've actually penciled in for Richland options already. I think an appropriate backstop is probably important. To your comment, I don't know if 150 feet versus 150 yards makes a difference.
On that note, Rich, what did you have?
Yeah, if I could make a comment on that.
please.
The one thing about 1 acre, if you just look at it just in spatial concerns, in a square thing, is 208 feet by 208 feet. So that's 70 yards. So to me, you're not going to, if you're doing the 150 feet versus the 150 yards, you're already in flux with just 1 acre.
Yeah, right.
That's if it's a square. Nobody's property is square. Right. So most properties are 50 or 100 feet wide, and then 200-300 feet deep or further.
So if you go to a target range, right? The police department shoots at target ranges, right? How far are you shooting from where you are to the target?
We shoot up to 100 yards.
Okay.
So, and that's on one specific, but for the most part, it's probably a 25-yard or less for
Okay.
for most
Okay,
qualifications.
and you could fit that on 1 acre, right? I
And
mean,
150 feet.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be like from the property edge, or if you're talking about property edge or other structures from another, somebody else's
no,
property.
you would, but if you have an acre of land, you could have a target range facility that was 25 yards long. You could fit that on an acre.
You could fit that on an acre, yeah. I mean, it would be, you're obviously looking at, if it's 16, if it was a square piece of property, yeah, or even rectangle that was long enough, that would probably actually even work better for somebody.
And my only other concern is, it depends on location, right? So my backyard and my neighbor's backyard, because my neighbor actually came to me, back up to a farm, and in the past, people on that farm have been shooting stuff in their house is on the road, it's on Teville Road, so they're shooting in the backyard, which is towards us. Now, I've never had a problem with them shooting guns, but my house has gotten shot up with BBs from previous people that lived there. So I'd be pretty strong about a backstop. That would be a requirement. The noise thing, like you said, I think that's a complaint thing. I mean, I know people like to shoot, but if you're shooting 900 thousands of rounds, that's pretty expensive. I don't see a lot of
But
people doing
we
that.
have a couple places that do that.
Do that?
Yeah, not on a regular basis,
Right.
but when they do it for an extended period of time. And there's also some concerns about whether or not they're bringing all their buddies over.
Having a party, yeah.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And then that's a
At the
whole,
keg
that's a
and
whole nother, is
the
that.
shooting range.
Well, let's hope not. So, and is that even something for us to be justified in talking about?
I mean, it's a very
It's a fine line.
fine line and gray area in terms of what are we trying to allow people to do on property that they own, but not in a way that bothers the neighborhood, right? I mean,
I'm more on the safety than the bothering, to be candid, because neighbors can get bothered by anything, from my experience. I leave my garbage can out more than 5 minutes, someone's knocking on my door, hey, can you kick your can up? So I get that. I'm more about the safety and basically the safety. Okay, so what do we do?
I want to hear what Kathy has to
Oh,
say.
I'm sorry.
No, so I'm still looking at the things, it's like, okay, what can I eliminate? That's where my mind's going. But
Here's my,
I think this is, sorry.
no,
Tim,
go ahead.
I think this is a good starting point.
Yeah.
We're still going to have complaining about the noise, but you know what? It is what it is. I mean, we can't, guns that make noise, they're loud. But if we regulate the time and provide some safety and
Yeah.
say no metal, no shooting cans and stuff like that, so that would,
I would also consider holidays as well, if that's, I didn't see that in any of this. I don't know that anybody has that anywhere, but it seems to be a sticking point for some people as well, if we can. I don't know,
Sorry, Rich.
I don't know
you
that
mean
we can.
Not to do it on holidays?
Or limit it even more on a holiday.
Okay.
The people have family over and they're hanging out and.
July, Memorial Day.
I mean, this is the problem with this type of regulation, right? Because my response to that is, well, people want to have family over to shoot on Thanksgiving too, right?
Right.
So, I mean, there's two sides of this
Of of this coin, absolutely.
issue, yeah.
It's like fireworks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's funny because what's the regulation for fireworks? Is it 100 and how far from a house? You and I talked about
150 feet.
150 feet.
150 feet. And we're talking some of these are distance from property lines 150 feet. So it's the same for shooting a gun as it shooting fireworks. It's kind of, a gun's going to go a heck of a lot farther too. A bullet's going to go a heck of a lot farther too. So we've been working on this for a while. Sorry, Chris, not
No, please.
we've been working on this for a while, and it's something now, I'm not sure how you guys want to handle this, continue to move on. Do you want another month to think about this and then come back, and then we can go back to the staff and say, okay, guys, this is what we were focused on? Or I think the issue here is Rich, get the chief a little more involved in this. And, I mean, he's got several officers down there who hunt, and they shoot guns. You know, I think they're, I mean, I go to the gun club this week, you know? So I would recommend that, let's throw it back to staff, but let's really focus on maybe getting the chief involved in this and see what kind of recommendations he comes up with. I think also what it'd be nice to see is if we could see something sent to us prior to, or maybe, Rich, if you can work on something and probably get something to us in maybe 2 weeks, so we have something to look at and have, so we're not just gonna get it the Friday before the meeting and just say, oh, okay, let's make a decision now, so that when we come to the meeting, we'll have a little more time invested in looking into it.
I do appreciate the spreadsheet, though, to
No,
see
I like it.
Yeah,
to see
doesn't
the
it? It looks really
comparison.
nice.
Yeah,
Good job
thank you
on
for
that, Lane.
doing that.
So that's.
I'm okay with that.
Kathy?
Mm-hmm.
You okay with that?
Yes.
Chris, you want to give a direction?
Yeah, so Leslie, and Link, let's kick this back to the staff again, but involve Chief Fico, and/or, I guess, and/or his designee.
Sergeant Kissart?
To work with the staff on something that makes sense. I like the straw man that you have for Richland options already. I think we're in the ballpark. Let's talk about that from a staff perspective, practical, you know, does this make sense? Is it too restrictive? Are we meeting the spirit of the Second Amendment at the same time ensuring our residents' safety?
And I think the advantage of having this particular meeting earlier, I believe will give us an extra week for the next meeting. When's the
Yeah,
next
right.
meeting? February? So we'll have like 5 weeks instead of 4 weeks but like I said, I think it would really be helpful for us to get this a week or two prior to our meeting. So we have more time to look into this and say, yeah, we like that, or no, we don't like that.
Okay. Thank you. All right, good discussion. Moving on, approval of the professional services agreement with Heritage Conservancy. Pretty much our standard open space agreement with this particular company.
Correct.
Any concerns, Les?
No.
None.
This is just for them to work with Rich if there's anything in the pipeline, so.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to approve and execute the professional service agreement with Heritage Conservancy to provide open space consulting services for 2026.
I'll second that.
All right, Kathy made the motion, Tim seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
I do have an afterthought. So was there a dollar limit on that or no?
It is there based on their fee schedule and their hourly rate, so it is, there's no limit on it as opposed to some of our other agreements with them that are limited to $20,000 or whatever it is that they're doing the inspections of the properties.
So we don't, there's no.
This would be working with
As-
them on an as-needed basis.
Okay,
They don't do any work until we direct them to do work.
good, okay. Thank you.
All right. The last of the new business, which I was still trying to think about whether we skip over it or not, but.
I think we should table it until December.
I received a letter from our current existing wonderful township manager, Leslie Hune, that she has notified us that she is planning to retire on April 3rd, 2025. 3 short months.
Wow. Congratulations is in order that you're
Thank
planning
you.
that.
I appreciate the opportunity to have come back to Richland for the second time and being able to work with everyone. And it's okay if you tell me I don't look old enough to retire, that's okay. But
You don't look old enough to retire.
I remember when we had the executive session, and I sat down with Kathy, and I said, I think we found a new township manager. And I said, Leslie Hune. And she's like, let's get her. Gotta get her.
I'll
Static.
I won't, that's not all I said. but
And
I'll s-
you have done such a great job here, and you know I appreciate, and I know the other two do all the hard work you give us. You know,
I
and
appreciate everything
you-
in return.
and you know it's one of those things that you kind of try to find someone who can attempt to fill your shoes.
Not one day of regret for our decision and bringing you back home. That's all right.
It was good to come back.
So with that being said, we will need to start looking for a new township manager to replace Leslie. And I am of the mindset that promoting or offering or looking within our own house may be our first point of action,
Yeah, I would agree.
right? I mean, I can think of one, maybe two people in-house that nobody's going to fill your shoes, but they have the experience within the, and knowledge within the township that may be a good fit. So,
That's always good to do. And if I can be of any assistance through that process, I'm
right,
happy to.
okay.
All right. Any other comments?
Am I gonna go, you want me, so I'll tell you, I'll tell you. So we've had this discussion with Rich Brittingham many times because he serves as the assistant manager and he has expressed that he has no interest whatsoever. The second person that comes to mind who I would think would be an awesome township manager, given his almost 20 years' experience of working in the township. Everybody knows him, everybody goes to him. He has the answers, and that would be Tim Arnold. Yikes, and that means that we would have to declare a supervisor seat vacant, but I'm just gonna throw that out there for consideration. I don't know if that's ever,
Something you'd even consider.
I mean,
I want to state, I agree with everything you said.
so, and really it's self-serving for me because I'm looking, you know, I dread looking to have to work with a brand-new township manager. Leslie, the working relationship that I have with you is awesome. The one before you, not so good. I think the working relationship I have with Tim now is excellent, you know, even though it's, you know, supervisor, you know, but listening to him manage the, you know, I call in on the staff meetings, I don't participate, but listening, I mean, there's a wealth of knowledge there. So, Tim, I don't know if it's something that's ever crossed your
Wow,
mind.
Kathy.
But I'm gonna throw it out there, you chew on that, and,
Yeah, do I have to give you an answer today?
no, you don't have to give an answer today.
Let me, thank you.
You don't have to.
I'm honored that you guys would both consider me doing this. As you said, I would probably, if I decided to do this, I'd have to step down from sitting up here as a supervisor. Can I give you
Well,
go ahead.
You don't have to answer
Yeah.
right away. We have time. So this is just brand new. Leslie just advised us.
Yeah.
This is the first, I'm throwing it out to like Chris and
You're in on this coup? Either one of you?
I got nothing to do with it. But I am going to
My
say,
shoes on.
I am going to say that we do have time, but it's not a lot, because I've been through this process
yeah.
of trying to
Comes
find a
fast.
manager before. It takes a while.
All right, so give me till the next meeting.
Okay, I would appreciate it if you would consider.
All right, thank you for the offer. Let me talk about it with my wife and see if we want to do this. But I will definitely have an answer to you by,
And there'll be some other things.
I will have an answer for you at the February meeting. Is that
That's fair
good?
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, that gives us time to chase down some of the things that would,
Yeah. We'd
That's
still have
possible, all
time
that
if you
kind of stuff.
decide
Yeah,
not
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, no, there's all kinds of things to look at.
Did you see that coming?
all right.
Oh,
Okay, so what's next?
Next up is, we have no old business. We took care of the board and staff appointments the earlier meeting. For reports, Kathy, you have anything?
I have nothing tonight.
Jim?
I have nothing.
I have nothing as well. Leslie?
Just very briefly, we have made the announcement, but I'd like to just make it at the meeting this evening that we were successful in receiving the grant that we applied for the pickleball court. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Senator Coleman and Representative
Stats.
Stats.
Yes, so we will be working closely with Gilmore and getting, we've already worked on some of the necessary permits because we knew we were doing this whether we received the grant or not. But we were successful for $652,000 and change. So
Nice.
that is going to make some nice pickleball courts. So
Absolutely.
And I know the local community is going to love it.
they will love it.
I've talked to many people about it, believe it or not. All right, thank you. Mike?
I just wanted to thank you for the appointment again for 2026. Love working with the staff, so looking forward to it.
Thank you. Keep up the good work. Link,
I have nothing. Thank you for the reappointment. I appreciate it.
keep up the good work.
I'll try to keep Mike Schwartz in line for
Yeah, there you go.
as long as I'm still here.
All right, Chief.
I have nothing.
All right, any more public comment?
Just to kind of plant the seed on the gun conversation. The one thing I didn't hear was type of gun, right? The backstop, the safety requirements for a rifle versus a shotgun versus a handgun, significantly different.
I think that's on there.
Let's see.
It's listed.
Type of firearms.
I'm-
No one regulates it.
Right, exactly.
I'm a little
Well, so,
reluctant.
You know, below 78, I think it is, you can't use a rifle to hunt, right? There's a reason,
Right.
right?
I know.
That changed.
Changed what's even higher now?
No, it's back, it's back down again.
Was it like 22 now? But anyway, there's a reason, right? So, and, you know, handguns, you're usually 25 to 50 yards, right? Shotguns, you know, shoot, but just consider the rifles.
I appreciate that.
And the backstop versus the distance, that's all. You know, some of those rifles are.
Go through the backstop.
Right, and they're gonna, you know, in 1 second, they're gonna be a quarter mile away,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
Thank you.
thank you.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was here at the meeting when this whole gun noise issue came up.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering, maybe the place to start is to say, I came here, I had to go to the planning commission because I wanted to open a gun range, a commercial gun range. What conditions do I have to meet to be able to shoot guns commercially? To rent a space for somebody to shoot it.
Do we?
And we don't have any regulations on that. I mean, we just don't.
Shoot at my place for free.
Yeah.
Just ask.
No, it's a good
I mean, we have,
idea, but
we have zoning regulations that say where you can operate a gun range, but we don't have any specifics as to how or what you do, right? Yeah, no, I'm just trying to explain it, that we tend to deal with location, but, you know, we have zoning regulations that say you can have a fast food restaurant here in this area, but we don't tell you how to cook, right? I mean, that's the problem with the whole regulation of trying to, instead of regulating a use, you're trying to regulate activities, right? And we don't necessarily regulate how many times can you shoot your basketball in your driveway, so it's such a different, yeah. I appreciate it.
thank you.
Link,
Good point, Tim.
insurance liability drives the commercial gun range.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like what the.
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
their regulations are.
Yeah,
I mean, that's sort of.
and if somebody is shooting in their backyard at a target and they hit somebody, they're gonna get arrested. That's gonna happen. I mean, that's, and they're gonna have some problems. But the idea of trying to regulate it somehow is what we're struggling with.
Is there, I'm just thinking out loud, is there insurance riders for private,
Oh,
I don't,
that's just.
I'm not even,
I don't know that there's even such a thing.
I'm not even sure you could get it.
Right.
I don't think you could get,
Take
I don't think your homeowner's insurance.
take the people part
Would-
out, but if I
right.
shut up my neighbor's car by accident,
Correct.
could I even file that?
Yeah, but if you're going to have, I think what the chief is talking about is, can I have a rider on my homeowner's policy
Lousy.
for shooting in the backyard? I don't think anybody's going to insure that.
yeah.
Vanelli's insurance company wouldn't.
There's what?
Two insurance companies in the United States that will
Okay.
give you an insurance policy for shooting guns on a range.
Oh, okay.
I know this because I'm part of a gun club.
Yep, okay.
And I'm on the executive committee. So there's only two.
Well, I mean, sir, maybe you're the type of person,
Okay.
maybe you're the type of person that we need to talk, because, you know,
Yeah, right.
sitting up here in terms of
That's really good.
what is reasonable, right? And that's what the board's struggling with, is what is reasonable so that you're not bothering your neighbor 24/7, but you're still allowed to use your property like you want to use it, you know? I mean,
Just drive it through safety.
Why
right?
don't you,
All
why don't you do
safety.
this?
Yeah.
Why don't you do this to help us out? If you go on board docs, you'll see our spreadsheet, okay? Go take a look at it, send an email to Leslie, give us your ideas.
Okay.
You,
Yeah, please.
And I can send you our range rules and stuff like that,
Yeah.
just to give you.
I like
perspective
that.
on what
We would
I've
love
done,
that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
Thank you.
that.
You know?
Yeah,
That'd be great.
But
Thank
I
you.
think if you drive it from a safety perspective, put things in requirement from a backstop,
Yeah.
distance.
Kind of where I'm at.
You get around that whole Second Amendment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Second Amendment, you just want to make sure you're not shooting somebody else.
Yeah,
Safe.
thank you.
We just hit treasure right here. A wealth of knowledge.
Well, we have your name now,
Pick a-
so we're
yep.
gonna get you, yeah. All right, anything else for the benefit of the board or the meeting? And someone's on the ground.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
I will second it. All in favor?
Aye.